Hey, it's Ryan. We're back in the QLZ Green Room this week. As Paul, I was telling you, man, we had a ton of events then kind of end August. It's been nice getting back in the swing of things with interviews. So we're talking with Paul Crosby today, former drummer of Saliva. And Paul, we were talking about kind of your roles in some of the bands you're in now. Obviously, Coldwards is the main band that you're in, but other bands we featured as well on the Artist Spotlight that you're helping out in, doing videos in, Blacklist Union, Dark Remedy as well. So I knew it was going to be a long intro. How you doing today, man?
I am most excellent, man. I woke up again today, opened my eyes, and was like, "Well, another day. Let's go kill it."
I know you're down in Houston, I would imagine, where it's probably nice and beautiful and probably still, I mean, it's still warm here in Illinois too, but I'm sure it's nice and busy and probably hot down in Texas still.
This has been one of the hottest summers I can remember here, like, 105, 108 sometimes. But today we're lucky and we got some rain and cloudy. So it's actually like in the 80s. So I'm really liking it today right now.
Relief in the 80s. So, dude, I know, man, you were in Saliva for 20 years. You and I have no, this is the first time you and I have ever met face to face. We've been in contact, I feel like, for the last 4 years between your management company that you have with you featured you've sent me a lot of bands in the Art Spotlight previously. Like I said, we featured Coldwards, Blacklist Union, Dark Remedy. So, dude, even though you're out of Saliva and you've moved on to the next phase in your life, does it feel like you've even slowed down at all with everything that you're doing?
No, man. It feels like I've actually picked it up because now instead of just being the drummer of Saliva, I am dealing with a bunch of bands, either playing in my band, playing drums for other bands I manage, and then managing the other bands on my roster. And then also being a dad and, having a personal life as well. So I pretty much go nonstop from the time my feet hit the ground till I get back in bed.
You mentioned, having a family as well. Coldwards is the band that you're in, with two of your sons. You're Sean and Zach, you're in the band with. Is it something that you always wanted to do, maybe since they were kids, to have a band with them one day? Or was it like once they started kind of getting that music itch, you're like, hey, let's see what happens?
They've both been into to music since they were little boys. And I honestly, to be honest, I never thought I would end up being in a band with them. I always figured they would end up being in their own bands. But then, during the COVID-19 lockdowns, I was writing some stuff and I sent it over to them and they started, co-writing stuff with me. And then it morphed into this. I mean, it just kind of happened. And trust me, I'm very blessed and, thankful that I get to be in a band with my sons, but it's not something that I ever thought would come to fruition. And mainly because when kids hit a certain age, they don't really want to do stuff with their parents. It's not cool anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful actually that they let me be in their band.
Okay. That's awesome. So what you guys have, I know you guys have played several shows together. What's it like playing, on stage with the boys?
It's pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. It's indescribable. It's definitely, I guess it'd be a dream come true for any dad who's a musician. It's pretty awesome looking up and seeing my boys up there, man, throwing it down.
Again, I know you've played festivals, you toured all over the world, and it's one of those things that was really cool when this band came out, and it's like, man, he's with, you and two of your sons in it. I thought that was cool. I was like, it's probably an experience that, you never thought maybe you'd ever get to have. So it's awesome that, this far in your career, you've still got, stuff that, you've loved and you're inspired by. So Coldwards, the song that we played on the station was Bad News. And I kind of have my, what I got from the song, as everybody kind of does, but kind of what it inspired that track. It's a song that we had in the Art Spotlight a couple weeks back, and we're kind of playing a little catch up here with you and getting to know a little bit more about the song.
The song is lyrically written by Zach mainly. And the premise of the song from his standpoint was he was in another musical project before this, and the person that he was in that project with was kind of like always taking credit for everything and always making Zach feel like it was all him and he couldn't do anything without him. So that's kind of like what the basic premise of the song was written about originally, but we like to twist things up a little bit and leave it open for interpretation to the listener. So whatever the song means to the person listening to it, then that works for us. But it's basically about showing loyal to people that'll never reciprocate it.
Yeah, it's something I think everybody can relate to and roll with. We've all been in those scenarios where you're working hard and someone's like, well, I'm going to take credit for this, and it's like, well, I don't know if that's exactly how it went. So what do you guys have coming up for the rest of this year? I know every band is doing something different. I mean, when it comes to, some are doing the singles games. I know you guys released a few singles out there as well. I think I told you kind of my time without. I think you guys formed kind of my time outside of radio, and obviously. People want to do albums, people want to do EPs. What do you guys want to do with the music that you're working on right now and going forward with it?
Well, Bad News is the first single from a upcoming 5-song EP that's also called Bad News. But with the new format and the new way things are kind of done, we're going to release probably 3 singles or so from the EP, and then release the full EP. The full EP will probably drop early to mid spring 2024. We'll drop a few singles first, kind of play the new model game, I guess. And then we'll most likely have a couple of shows later this year, and then focus on attacking all the festivals and maybe doing some national tours with some other bands next year.
Awesome. Very cool. You with Saliva, obviously, every 6 seconds, these albums that went on, we platinum records and all that kind of stuff. And Saliva was always, an album band. And like you said, you got to play the game, you got to do the singles thing. But do you enjoy, in a sense, maybe being able to release an EP and then kind of have some singles leading up to it, where you can really kind of, give every single song kind of the attention that it deserves?
Absolutely. And that's kind of the reason of why doing it that way. If you release a full record at once, a lot of the songs aren't going to get the attention that they deserve. The music listening world is very ADD these days. So you kind of got to spoon feed it to them if you want to give every song its, due justice.
And you can do video. And that's the thing is, I know there's bands that are like, we're going to do 3-4 songs. We're doing videos for every single one. So that's the plan for you guys to get, obviously Absolutely. Let Bad News do its thing, and then have a couple other singles and then do videos for those ones as well.
Absolutely. We already have the next single ready to go. It's called Flatline, and it's actually about one of my best friends for a lot of my life, Wayne Swinney, for the guitar player for Saliva, who recently passed away earlier this year. So that one's going to be pretty meaningful and personal as well. But yeah, we have singles, videos for all the singles, and just keep feeding content,
Mm-hmm. Good. I'm looking forward to that one. Obviously, Wayne's such a massive force with Saliva, and just in the rock world in general. And I know the guys are carrying on. They're on tour, and they've got some music with him still that's on the way, which is awesome to see. I want to talk about your management label as well, because like I said, I think when I was back in Wisconsin, I think there's probably 20, 25 bands. I think you sent me. You're co-managing the guys in Unchained here in Springfield, a band that a lot of people here know really, really well. So kind of what wanted to make you, or what made you want to get into management label and kind of start looking out for some bands and stuff?
About middleway, close to the pinnacle of Saliva's career, I came to the realization, for most bands, this doesn't last forever. There's only room for so many Metallicas, AC/DCs, that type of stuff. So I was planning ahead of what my, end game move would be, and seeing how much money our managers and booking agents and people on the other side of the fence were making. I made the decision then. I'm going to start paying attention to the business side and start learning and teaching myself. And, when our time comes, then I'll switch into management. That way I can still be working music and still, do music for a living and help other bands try to achieve some of the success that I got to witness.
That's good. And you got some good stuff on there. I know I'll bug you when we're done here about sending me some more bands, because we continue to the Artist Spotlight, and I always love checking out new bands as well on it. So what, I guess maybe the business side of things, maybe what are some things maybe bands should know about, the business side of this industry? Because again, when it comes down to it, people talk about the NFL is a business, the music industry, it's a business. So what are maybe some good things bands should know, or how can they reach out to you as well for some advice?
I have a Facebook page for my management company. It's facebook.com/Paul Crosby Management. My company's PCM, which stands for Paul Crosby Management. There's an email on there if you want to submit. I typically at this point really only work with bands that come recommended by either past or current clients. Okay. But I'm open to anything. If I see a band I'm interested in, I would definitely be open to that. But as far as things bands should know, I mean, you really need to have a team or a person that has contacts and knows how to navigate the business side. Most actual band members don't know anything about the business side of music. So, I mean, I think my first recommendation would be to try to connect with somebody that has been there and done that and knows the do's and don'ts. I know that's easier said than done, but the biggest piece of advice I could give to any new bands or up and coming bands is be yourself. Don't try to emulate your favorite band. There's so much that's, the problem with, I think a lot of metal and rock the last 5 or 6 years is there's so many bands that hear a band that they like and think that they can do it better. So they literally go and exactly try to sound like them, the individuality, man. Just write what comes out, be influenced, but be unique and original. Don't try to sound like every other band out there. That's what's really going to get you noticed and set you apart as well.
Mm-hmm. And doing the artist spotlights, I love doing it. Like you mentioned, there's some bands out there that are copying others, but at the same time, bands I get on, I feel like I have a whole wing of bands that are influenced by new metal. I've got bands that are influenced still by, bands like Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace and Chevelle, these bands that are around since the 2000s, Saliva, bands that, have taken a classic rock influence and kind of, put their own spin on it. So it's good. Like you said, that finding that individuality, I mean, it's so massive just to be yourself. It's such a huge thing. So that's why I wanted to ask. I was like, I knew we were talking. I was like, man, I don't usually talk a whole lot of business in band interviews, but I was like, man, we got to talk about a little bit. So bands out there can get a better idea. And cool. Paul, we mentioned, albums, man. Saliva was an album band. You guys are doing the EP thing right now, but a question I have for you to round everything out. I ask every band this because I love the answers for it, but your favorite no skip records of all time, your favorite complete albums of all time.
Oh man. Metallica, Master of Puppets, probably number one. Purple Rain from Prince. Dirt, Alice in Chains. Facelift, Alice in Chains. Man, there's so many, but those would be some of my top ones, I guess.
All right. Yeah, it started as a blog post when I was in Wisconsin, and when things wrapped up there, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start asking these in interviews and see how they go. But yeah, Puppets is a huge one. Alice in Chains. I think Alice in Chains has been the most popular band, which works for me. I love that band. So
yeah. I'm a huge Alice in Chains fan. My daughter's name is Staley Lane Crosby. So
a little bit of an influence there. A little bit of fan. So cool. So Paul, again, man, Blacklist, Union, Dark Remedy, a couple bands that you're helping out with, doing some drumming, but Coldwards, the band, with your sons you're in. So management company, dude, you're staying super busy. Hopefully, things keep going well for you. I'm glad, we finally got the chance to talk face to face, man. I appreciate the time.
I really appreciate you having me, man. It really means a lot.